And this is just the show hyping up Heather to be too much of a villain. Like, oh my god, death and destruction in Heather's wake. And yet, everything we've seen from Heather, I don't buy that for the character. I just don't buy Heather as this brutal impaler villain. What's up, fellow Beyond the Gates fans? Here to talk about today's Friday episode of the show, which I must say, to me, was certainly a filler Friday. I gotta say, even with some fast forwarding, I was zoning out during today's overall boring episode. I guess maybe the ending wasn't filler. We had a bit of a cliffhanger we have all been expecting. But let's get into today's episode. Eva and Isaiah seem in a happier place than when we last saw them. They were together holding hands. Kat came in and said something about how PDA is a red flag in relationships. I guess Kat just can't help but get some shots in on Eva. What else is new? They did end up all talking about Bill and Haley. Kat saying how Bill should have appreciated Dany more when he had her, which is true. Later, Chelsea came in to see Kat, Eva and Isaiah giving Chelsea their condolences with Bill's current condition. And then by the end of the episode, Eva and Isaiah were in a good place, kissing. Not a whole lot there. Andre was still looking at those text messages today. And then Andre called someone named Henry, who he talked to on the phone, which we didn't hear the other person. But Andre was calling someone about their mutual headache and how that headache might be in the DMV area now. Martin and Smitty end up coming in to see Andre there, wanting to talk to him. When Smitty and Andre are alone, Smitty asked Andre if his long face is because of that blast from the past they were talking about the other day, which of course had Andre trying to downplay his concerns, saying that Smitty just caught him on a bad day. Andre was just definitely trying to play it cool for now in this conversation with Smitty. Andre did talk about how he never thought he would hear from people from his past back when he was living a fast life. And then later, Andre gets a text message from that Henry person he called, with Henry saying in the text that the person he was asking about is no longer there. And via text, Henry told Andre to be careful and watch his back. I mean, it sounds like maybe Andre was involved with something shady. And if that person was Heather, which we of course found out by the end it was, then maybe that's the whole big secret here. I don't know. We might as well talk about Joey and Vanessa next, which was, they started this episode making out. Yeah. And then Joey called someone after Vanessa left and said to do it now. And then I guess one of Joey's guys grabbed Heather and brought Heather to Joey. Joey wanted to know what the hell Heather is doing with Vanessa. Heather says that she just wants a relationship with Joey again, and she wants there to be room for each other in their lives. And, Vanessa is a part of Joey's life now. I was trying to be into these scenes. I'm trying to give Heather a chance. But then something happened in these scenes where it's like I just can't. I can't. Joey's talking about how he wants to believe Heather, but he knows her, and he has heard about the Impaler's brutality and ruthlessness for years, and there was a trail of death and destruction. And this is just the show hyping up Heather to be too much of a villain. Like, oh my god, death and destruction in Heather's wake. And yet, everything we've seen from Heather, I don't buy that for the character. I just don't buy Heather as this brutal impaler villain. If they wanted to make her more like a Leslie, where she's kind of annoying and sometimes does bad things, I think I could buy that more than what they are trying to sell for Heather here. Joey says there is a limit to what he will do, and he can't say the same for her, and that's where they have a problem. Also in these scenes, I feel like they're trying to, again, absolve Joey as not being that bad of a villain. Somehow Heather is worse. But what we've seen on this show Joey had Doug killed. So we can't buy that with our own eyes and ears from what we've seen and heard on this show, but whatever. Heather then said she never thought they would find someone else who knows them more than they know each other, but she is happy that Joey found that in Vanessa. Joey is saying that he chooses to believe Heather isn't going to do anything to Vanessa for now, but Joey did threaten to kill Heather if anything happens to Vanessa. Another thing I didn't like from these scenes, we're just supposed to buy Joey and Vanessa as siblings, but Joey, has to be so overprotective of Vanessa first and foremost. And I just don't know if I buy it. I think the problem with the Joey and the Heather scenes today is I did not buy it as a viewer, which means the writing certainly failed there. In the end, Joey had a man who's not Randy, probably because Randy usually sucks at his job. He had this man be the new person keeping an eye on Heather at all times, which brings us to Vernon and Anita meeting with Dani and Nicole, kind of coming together to grill Dani about Bill again. And Dani knows that she's walking into that kind of dynamic here, saying that she knows they are all concerned about the dynamic between her and Bill. Anita talked about being worried that Dani is on a path of destruction because there is something about Bill that makes her make foolish, rash decisions, which is true because Dani then gets distracted by memories of the elevator sex with Bill. But Vernon and Anita talk about how Andre adores Dani and how with Bill, Dani had to give up everything, even her identity, and they don't want her to give up her joy for a man who took her joy away before. I think Anita had some spot-on lines today that Dani at first wasn't even going to acknowledge. She tried to not acknowledge her family's warnings and just wanting to order food, but Anita said that she will not be casually dismissed here. Dani tried to tell her family that she is not blowing up her life or her marriage to Andre. Anita brought up Dani not staying out of the girls trying to find out if Haley is cheating on Bill and Dani getting involved with that too. But Dani says it's the girls that is worried about that and worried about Bill and Haley. The family tells Dani that they will be there to pick her up if she falls, and Dani assures them that she won't need that offer. So Dani, kind of still lying to herself like she has always done on this show where Bill is concerned, and I guess also just being stubborn because what we are seeing Dani do in actions where Bill is concerned has continually went against her words for many, many months on this slow-ass moving show. Vernon then sees Andre walk in, and Dani's surprised to hear that. Andre goes to her room. Dani called Andre. He put her to voicemail. Andre goes into the room, and Heather is indeed in that room. So Heather is a part of Andre's past. I really don't want it to be some sort of past lover, basic bitch secret, but that's what I think it is going to be. Because judging by the preview, it does look like we had Heather's hand on Andre's face, but they could have just been partners in crime. If it is a past lover thing, Andre certainly has a type. He must have mommy issues because he likes his older women, apparently. That was our cliffhanger for today. I mean, I am at least glad that the Andre and Heather reveal is finally out of the way. Hopefully it goes somewhere good and not something basic or annoying like it very much could be if this is supposed to be a way to make Andre look a little more villainous, to try and take away from the fact that Dani sucks with the whole Dani and Bill stuff. The only other thing on today was Noah and Deanna. Noah playing his guitar at the beginning. Deanna hearing him play says he's really good. I guess there is this open mic night at Uptown coming up where Deanna wants Noah to perform. Vanessa ended up coming in, meeting Noah for the first time, talking about how she's best friends with Nicole, who's dating Noah's dad. And then alone, Deanna tells Vanessa that she is excited to see Noah at open mic night performing. I thought Vanessa should have been concerned with the fact that Deanna is interested in someone who's clearly pushing 40, because the character looked like he's pushing 40. But whatever, I'm not invested in Noah and Deanna, and they continuously make the Deanna and Doug's ghost storyline go by as slow as possible, like every storyline goes by as slow as possible on this show. So yeah, overall today was Filler Friday. We did get a reveal at the end, a reveal that we were all expecting. We will see next week if it goes in an interesting direction or not. I will, of course, be back Sunday to preview next week's episodes.